Hi, my name is Charles Cadell and welcome to K12Press Solutions. We're going to take a look at doing a quick video and expand on the Events Calendar plugin, specifically Events Calendar modules that are set for Divi. They're Divi modules that you can grab and pull in as long as you have the Pro K12Press plugin library. And you've upgraded to Pro, you have access to these new modules. And this makes it really easy for you to drop in really nice dynamic calendar or events list modules on your Divi pages. So we're going to start by jumping in and looking at on the homepage of the XYZ Academy here. We have two columns. And one column I have a list of events, and those are the most recent events that are coming up, and then I have a small calendar here. Now to keep in mind when using these Divi modules that you are able to actually have them be responsive to the container that they're in. So I have these split into two columns, and these are kind of small columns. So this is a small calendar. So you have to go through and make edits to the settings within those calendars to make that fit in that space a little bit easier, abbreviated days of the week, things like that. We're going to go through and see what that looks like. So let's pretend like we're going to go in here into the Enable Visual Builder here, and let's pretend like we're just going to add this as a new calendar. We're just going to add a new module right underneath there so you can see from beginning to end how this is done. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to find those two areas here, and we're going to say, you know what, we're going to add a new calendar module. And you'll see when you have the Pro upgrade to the plugin library, you have a bunch of new modules that show up in your Divi builder. Events calendar, the events carousel so that you can rotate through events. Great if you have really rich events that have featured images and lots of information. This is really good, especially for campus websites, to have this because you can have an events calendar on the home page that even works as a slider there. Events feed, which that's very similar to what this is here. An events page, which actually lists out the whole page, but we're not building out a whole page with events here. Events filters, events subscribe, events tickets. These are all new modules that are added whenever you upgrade your K12Press plugin library. What we're going to look at is just the simple events calendar. So that's what we've already added here. You know, you would add that, and it's going to give you to where you can list out all the different content, and by default this is what that looks like. But what we're going to do is go through the settings to make it look a little bit more like this, that what fits our brand, our colors. So you can go through and you can take a look at the content and we can say, hey, we can either have all events or just certain featured events that we want to denote as a featured event when we add those events to the events calendar. You can list out the default number of events per day, and then it would load in, you know, accordance to the time of those events within that day. Limit loading past feature events. If you're using your event calendar a lot, I would definitely say you would want to limit the loading. You want to make sure that that page load is quick, and if you have a lot of events on your calendar, if you're aggregating events from different calendars, Google calendars, Outlook calendars, things like that, you want to figure out all these little tips and tricks that you can use to make the load speed a little bit faster, because the events calendar plugin can be a heavier plugin. Especially if it's getting used a lot. But you can look through all this and you can see where you can show the canceled and postponed events and all that. You can set all that up to be fine. You go into the design mode here and you can see to where you can set the colors of everything, the background of everything, to make it look how you want it to look there. You can see how, you know, we took the blue that we commonly use on this demo website and set that as all the button colors and all that. You just have to go through here and kind of toggle these off and on, but there's a couple of things you need to look at here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to show you an example of what that looks like, of a couple of issues that we'd want to fix. So again, this is dynamic. So if we actually made this to where this was a much bigger column set, like if we did something like this, and this is a much bigger calendar, well, the settings may work perfectly for in here. Everything looks much better. This list over here on the side looks better. In fact, I might end up keeping this outlook or this look for this demo site. But you know, this calendar scales to the size of the container that it's in, And as it gets smaller, you probably want to start taking away some of that information. Case in point, let me save up here. Open up my menu, go through, exit the Visual Builder. Each one of these events has a tooltip, so as you hover over it, it can give you more information about that event. That way you don't have to actually click into the event to get more. That can be, information you gather at a glance. But as you can see, there's some stuff on here, and it looks fine now, but I'm not sure why we're showing the time zone and not the time. And maybe that text is a little bit too small now that we've made these this calendar a little bit wider, or this column a little bit wider, so the calendar scaled to it. So those are some things that we can edit. So we're going to go into the Visual Builder again. We're going to go down here to this module, and we're going to tweak some of these settings on this tooltip that where you hover over the event, it shows. That way it looks a little bit better, gives you a little bit more pertinent information. So within here, we're going to click on the little settings icon, and we're going to go take a look here and see if there's any details that we want to list. Now, the details are what shows when you kind of hover over the tooltip. So do we want to show the tooltip? Well, I would say if you're using a really small calendar, and this is like something that's tucked over in a small row or column somewhere, that maybe that's something that you can turn off, because the text would have to be too little for it to be usable anyway. But you can say whether or not you're going to show the full title when they hover over it, show the date, show the time. I want to show the time, but I don't need to show the Chicago time zone, so let's turn that off. You can also have abbreviations. You can show the addresses. Well, these two events themselves, I didn't enter in an address, but if you have a venue and an address, you can make that to where it shows. This is all information that if your calendar is big enough, if it's in a big enough container to where that can show and it look okay, go for it. Show that information. But if you're needing to scale down that calendar to where it fits in a small area, these are all things that I would say you could probably uncheck and remove and not show on that. Make it to where they have to click on that and go into the event to get those additional details. But showing times and things like that, especially when you have multiple events in the same day, these little events here start vertically stacking depending on how many you allow to show in a day. And maybe an abbreviated title or just the category that it's in or something like that is what you want to list there. And then when they hover over it, it gives them more information. That's up to you. You have the ability to go in this events calendar settings and set a lot of things. This is something that does not come standard with the events calendar plugin. This is something to where they have one of these for the Events Calendar Pro plugin, but even that actually doesn't work as well as the module that this has inside Divi. So this is the one that I prefer to use, and this is something that comes with you when you upgrade the Pro version of the Events or the K12Press plugin library. But this allows you to get in here and tweak these settings to make it stay on brand and look perfect for what you're wanting to display. Creating these events lists and events calendars are really powerful to be able to use and put them on different pages, your different home pages for your different campuses, things like that. Just get in and start using them, but the key thing is you have to upgrade that K12Press plugin library to gain access to these. But this is just 2 of the 5 or 6 new modules that you get within Divi just for the events calendar when you upgrade. As always, thank you for watching K12Press Solutions on YouTube. Like and subscribe if you're working on a school website or a school district website and you're using WordPress. This will be a wealth of information for you. Thank you and have a great day.